Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to 55 Days of Christ Consciousness. We are on day 45, or toward the end of the deck. And I'm Gina, Soul Inspired Reflections. I'll be your guide on this journey, on this 55-day journey. Now, there's no timeline on when you visit any of these videos. Just trust you come across them at the exact time you're meant to either revisit or be inspired to hear the message from and inspired by Amanda Ellis's Christ Consciousness deck. This is a deck of self-mastery. So I believe many of us are on a self-mastery journey. Really, I feel everybody is in their own unique way as their soul is evolving, ascending, the heart is opening. And how one of my major things that I bring back for people in the work that I do is how do we support the integration of these qualities within ourselves with the Christ consciousness energies coming in to the body through energy, through the system and light body of our chakras, right? That's just an aspect of the light body, right? As we work with the four primary fields that are within the aura too, right? Emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual are the four primary fields we work with. I believe this field, our light body, is infinite and are just at different levels. So how might we recognize how to decipher, discern, decode, if you will, work with. I always like to be more like, how am I working with this energy? How is it here for me? Instead of why am I going through this, right? How can I use it for the highest good? How can I use it to support my growth, my evolution, integration of my Christ consciousness energies, right? Remembering that it's not a person, it's a quality, it's a level of attainment. Christos meaning anointed, right? Symbolic anointing over the third eye, which could definitely relate to what some refer to as the sacred secretion through your nervous system, right? Through the column of your cerebral fluid, right? The pituitary gland, all this activity within the glands and the brain center, as you come into more harmony and unity with your masculine and feminine energies, that means your Merkaba is beginning to be active and balanced in harmonics and calibrated to help you integrate these energies within yourself, your unity, right? As these energies anchor you into the earth and the universe, you're developing your column of light, your light body. It's many components to our light body, to your light body, right? So I was reminded today as I worked with another client, we're focusing on her really beginning to work actively with her Merkaba, because some of you out there may feel a sense of vertigo or disorientation. And I don't know why this is important right now, as we're going to pick a card from the Christ Consciousness deck, but there's very much a piece to connecting to the earth, right? But also the earth tetrahedron, which is a pyramid shape that points down. It's depicted to point down, representing the connection to the earth, the feminine energy. And the other one is the sun tetrahedron, which points up. The pyramid of it points up, but they interlace each other around the body. And the sun tetrahedron, masculine tetrahedron, oscillates clockwise. The earth tetrahedron oscillates counterclockwise. Now, when you begin to use this technology that everyone has around them, in them, it's in all of life, it's around your cells, even what makes up your third eye center, as that's expanding, it creates a Merkaba shape, six-pointed star. That being said, when we're just going to focus in this little short teaching that the one that goes around your whole body. Okay, so when you're feeling that oscillation, you're like, whoa, I'm a bit disoriented. Perhaps you're having another expansion of the third eye center or integration of higher light coming in, the masculine energy. Some people, you can turn down the calibration. You can turn down the speed at which that's rotating, right? By asking source guides to, okay, assist me in slowing that down. It's too much. That's one approach. The other approach, which many people forget because we're hit with the accelerated energy and we just want to not feel dizzy. For those of you that can notice that, activate the speed of your Earth star tetrahedron. Begin to activate that at a higher rate of speed to match the rate of speed in which the sun tetrahedron is in motion. Okay, so if that one's moving, let's say 50 miles per hour, we'll just throw an arbitrary number, and then your Earth star is moving counterclockwise, or maybe even not counterclockwise, maybe it's moving in the same clockwise motion, you're going to get a wobbling effect, right? And say that's only moving at 10 miles per hour, right? A lot slower, right? What's quicker, light or physical matter? Right? Light's faster than the density, right? So maybe some of you, as you're purifying your physical body, the earth, your body's earth, as you are becoming less dense, as you're integrating your Christ consciousness energies, 5-dimensional frequencies and above, you're purifying your chakra centers to also oscillate at that higher rate and purified it in thought, feeling, emotions, the way you go through life. Your belief systems are being purified and cleaned up, right? You're reconciling things within you. You're going to start oscillating that earth star chakra, particularly these lower chakras, which help you relate to the earth, navigate the earthly plane. That earth star tetrahedron, I know I also said earth star chakra. Ask Archangel Sandalphon to assist you in opening that earth star chakra, okay? The sun tetrahedron is associated with that chakra, okay, in some degrees. So picture that oscillation of the earth star moving counterclockwise at the same rate of speed as your sun tetrahedron. Now, you do not have to know how fast the rate of speed is going. Just through the breath and through your command, you begin to work with that vehicle, that technology of the Merkaba, to be balanced and harmonized for your highest good today. And you put your focus in grounding that energy, calibrating the energy, having the two energies match and be in unison. Right? You can also begin to picture in the rays of light from your divine spark, right? The indigo blue ray of God's divine will, anchoring one side, and the golden light of illumination on the other. You may see it differently, and that's okay. All right. You're working with fire and water when you're working with these energies. Right? Fire and water, your heart, it's fire and water. It's spark, it's emotion, it's fire and water. How might these two work in harmony? Bringing the creativity of the divine feminine energy that runs within you and the architecture, the higher energy, the masculine energy that comes in. Allow those to balance. So for some reason, there's that reminder today of coming into balance and harmony. How might you support that? Through the breath, through the power of your word, and you can command it through your mind, right? If you're feeling your upper body, literally, for me, I will feel my upper body move. I will feel my whole body move as I'm doing Merkaba work, whether I'm releasing, bringing in, or I'm feeling energy come in where I'm going, okay, let me calibrate the vehicle by breathing, focusing on grounding and integrating that energy through the body, through the light body. And then I will literally feel my light, my pillar of light tighten up, and the column of light just run through. And I will feel it in myself until like I have this erect feeling of the light running through me, through my spinal column and through my body. Some of you may feel it slightly differently, but just begin to take notice as we're having these regular and continual integrations of lights as you're moving faster. You're moving faster. Your cells are moving faster, and your Earth star needs to, your Earth, well, and the Earth star needs to catch up and be calibrated to that to support you. And the Earth star, the tetrahedron, okay, tetrahedron. So pay attention to that. Go ahead on your own and maybe look up the Merkaba if you're not familiar with what it is, the sacred geometry of it. And maybe I'll revisit that at a later date. There's some other things I feel need to get completed first. And then we can revisit some of these basic and foundational tools that I feel and know in my heart are very, very foundational and supportive to building your light body, becoming grounded, maintaining your pillar of light, your 12-dimensional shield, mastering the sacred flames of your heart and the violet flame. As you all continue to do this expansion and growth and inner work and feeling the collective, because all of us who are going to feel more and more depth to energy and building and tending to our foundational basic skills is important. And you'll find you'll be able to navigate your life a bit more easier, and your clairs, meaning any of your clairvoyant like abilities, that whether you're clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyance, and various other clairs, there's many. Excuse me, I'm having hot chocolate tonight. So in any event, begin to perhaps consider working with that vehicle and technology that's around you. So now on to the cards of 55 Days of Christ Consciousness. And we're going to just light a little bit of sage here to center. And I'm actually going to go grab a candle. So I'm going to pause the video briefly. Right, I'm back with the candle. I thought I had one already, and I didn't. So anyhow, we will go ahead and light this candle as a reminder to the light inside you, the light inside me, the light that we are connecting to, both our individual connection and our collective connection and presence. I'm going to go ahead and clear this space and just light some sage. Remember, as you do this, you're connecting with the 4 elements. 5 if you count the ether. Okay. Some may even go into 6. And just to take that in, allow it to clear your field as you breathe in and ground your body through the breath with the earth. All right. So one card for today, as we're almost done with this journey of the 55 Days of Christ Consciousness. But just know you have access to this so long as they're up on my YouTube channel. And for those of you that have the deck, you always have access to it as well. And be open to revisiting the messages. Again, the message may be in there, but you're different, and something else within the message may stand out for you. Okay, because you're constantly changing. So today's card pull is Wisdom Bringer, Earth School. And how funny, what was I talking about in the very beginning of this is the Earth Star tetrahedron as well, and integrating the Christ consciousness energy into the physical body and into the earth, and how we can support that here. And perhaps what does the being here in Earth School support us with? So let's just go ahead and take a moment. And I'm going to also spray some Archangel Sandalphon spray into our field. It's a beautiful bronze color there, which I'm almost out of. And just allow his energy to come in, allow yourself to feel grounded, connect to the Earth Star chakra, which is but just outside of your feet. May it support you in grounding. Those of you that are new to recognizing there, we have the chakra system. I see it to be as an infinite system. We have availability to the chakras outside of our body and become more aware of them, depending on the level of light that we can hold and integrate. And the more you are adept to these things, then the other chakras, I feel, become a little bit more tangible and accessible, and ability to open. Because some centers, if you're not ready for them to open, and your soul will know and your presence will know, it's best to keep certain ones closed until you're ready. And but your heart, your soul, your I am presence will know. And as you go through life, it'll begin like heart opening. That's a big sign that you're going through an ascension process. As you connect to Sandalphon, that's another sign that, okay, that soul is ready to step further into their soul growth, their enlightenment, their path of light and ascension, inner growth and embodiment, right? And then that's where people begin, what's my purpose? What do I gotta do, right? Well, that's in the whole little interesting question all on itself, right? Where I come across so many people, they want to know what's their purpose. They want me to tell them what their purpose. And I remind them that it's not for me to tell them what their life purpose is. That's for you to discover and follow your heart. But it's a very powerful question of the soul, right? So how might, as we relate to this card of the wisdom bringer and Earth School, what does that really mean right now? What does that really mean right now? And like, let's just, take that in. Part of me is also feeling like, oh, what wisdom am I bringing in on a soul level to this earthly plane, right? Wisdom bringer. That's the first part of this card. This is the first time I'm looking at this card. Many cards of this deck, I'm coming to them the first time, just as you might be as you come across this. Okay, some cards I was familiar with already just from personal pullings. Okay, but this card particularly, this is the first time I'm pulling it and connecting with its energies. And we see how did I start? Yes, picturing that indigo blue and golden light as you're calibrating your Merkaba, right? Calibrating your Merkaba. How does living in this physical body support you in learning, right? Earth School, it's known to be a school of duality, consciousness, duality, polarity, right? The Merkaba, once as you're ascending, it will eventually turn into a sphere, which you will move faster at a faster rate of speed, right? Because then it has no edges. Right now, for some of you, it still has edges, but it can still move pretty quick as you're practicing it. But as you are a sphere, spheres move much quicker. They're much more aerodynamic. Okay. So you're learning, if you didn't have a place to practice it, how would you learn how to use it? Right. So Earth School is a beautiful place to learn how to use your tools, to remember how to use your mystical tools, I guess you could call them, spiritual tools, you could call them, but really just let's go of anything like that and just they're your tools. You're just remembering and rediscovering what's in your toolbox. What is the design of your physical body, your light body? How do you use it? How do you feel the vibration and frequencies of it? How do you calibrate it through the breath, through the body, through your connection to earth and spirit, light, your monad, your I am presence? What wisdom is this soul coming in on? What is it going to illuminate this world with? Right? Also, what experiences might help illuminate that soul and wake it up in its divine time? You know, because there's no just one answer. There's no just black and white answer to these experiences, right? And it's card number 3 for those of you who wish to look up the numerology. I'm not going to spend the time in these readings per se to look them up. I know a couple cards I have. And I'm just taking it in a little bit more because it's a scroll, right? This is a scroll of information that, let's see if the camera picks it up. And this lovely, lovely, it's the wisdom scroll, right? You come in already with information. Each and every single one of us come in with information. It's written in gold. It's written right there in gold. Gold is unchangeable. It's pure. You already come in with a sense of purity and golden light within you that you're remembering to access. Walking this earthly plane and these experiences assist in you accessing your wisdom, assist in you bringing forth your gifts, as many will say, right? It's already written. There's some things that are coded within us and in your DNA, in your light, in your soul that will forever be written within you, at the core of you. These things are very present when you're a baby and your parents are watching you grow up. Your personality that you came in with, your attributes. And I'm not talking about the personality you create and identify, and then that can change. And now I identify this way, and then all this labeling. I'm talking about the core of you, your essence, when you're a baby, that shows up really pure and clean and very distinct. And I see it in my nieces when certain behavior, I'm like, oh yeah, there she is. There she is, right there. When she's at her essence. She's not worried about what people think about her, what she's going to do, what she's missing out on. She's just in it. And I hear it in the laughter. I hear it in her focus, one that's just genuine, right? And there can also be a certain level of will, right? A clarity of direction. You can see that in many children in their youth. You come in already coded or something. So pay attention. This can also be reflected at you by others. How do people see you? What kind of compliments do you get? What are people noticing? Right? For me, in shamanism, they call it your medicine, right? What's your medicine that you bring? It's your wisdom. What's your force? Right? Sometimes we dismiss our own primary attributes, I'll say. And I say primary because we hold everything within us. Even within the rays, the universal rays of light, we come in on a primary ray, right? You hear people talk about indigo children, blue ray, right? The blue rays are coming in, they're teaching, they're doing communication, right? And whatever other attributes go along with that, and the divine will comes through. First ray, root, first ray, but throat chakra. Okay. What are your attributes? Some of you may already recognize what your primary ray is and what your primary attributes are, right? It's kind of like an interview. What's your best attribute? And you're gonna know it. Okay, and what's not, what are some other qualities that maybe need some work, right? Sometimes it's the same one because we might lead too much with one, right? Where it becomes out of balance. So Earth School is going to assist you because it's duality, it's polarities. It's going to assist you in bringing your qualities and attributes, your medicine, your power, energies back into balance and harmony. Okay. Like I know for me from back through the shamanic perspective, very grounding, right? Very grounding force. I'm also a Virgo, very much of an earth sign, very analytical, right? But I can be too analytical sometimes, and I had to learn to harmonize that. So much different now. But I didn't own my medicine until I was in my studies a number of years ago. And I was in a shamanic studies program and doing my practitioner work and things like that. And we were all in ceremony together. And at the end of our time together, a few people created a yearbook for us. Almost every single person made some acknowledgement to the grounding force of my presence throughout the year. And I kept seeing it and reading it over and over. And it wasn't until then that I truly, really just got, oh yeah, that is my medicine, where I had been denying it all this time. Where I kind of dismissed, no, okay. There's nothing wrong with like really owning your qualities. And I don't mean it from an egotistical place. What wisdom are you sharing through others in your presence while you embody this quality? Right? Because I know I'm not only a grounding force, right? I also know I can embody compassion, love, and so many other things. But other stuff I had to, the qualities I wasn't using as my heart was opening, I had to practice like a muscle to exercise it. So what wisdom, as you're going through this earth school, are you being asked to exercise these other attributes that are within you, to harmonize them, to bring illumination to, not just within you, but your mere presence will illumine others, right? Just like the light. My light will support others in lighting their light by my mere presence. I don't need to force anything onto them. I don't need to force anyone into their awakening. That will happen all on their own. But how might I hold the qualities within me, call upon on the universal rays, or ask God to just help me be what I need to be right now in the highest good in this moment? Find me the words, the thoughts, or maybe I just need to be fully present for this person as they're just sharing their heart or experience. Sometimes we just need to learn to be the best listener, the observer, the neutral party, no judgment, right? That's where I really love the work I have been drawn to do and get to do, because I get to naturally use the qualities that so many have been drawn to me ever since I was a kid, right? Because I didn't judge them. I let them have their experience, and that was it. And they felt, I provided comfortable, a sense of safety for them to share and be who they were. Now, do I allow people just to kind of dump on me? No, there's boundaries with this, but also the ability to hold space, right? To hold space. I can activate my Merkaba and in my protective fields, right? We're at Earth School to learn how to do these things. Protective fields violet flame, cloak of obsidian, all these different things, so I can protect my energetic field. Right? But if I was not in this earthly realm right now, in a physical body, there'd probably be some other skills I'd be learning in some other planet. But I'm here in this earth skull, right? So I'm learning how to build my tools box, learning how to use it, sustain my pillar of light, recognize the energies coming in and out of my body, balancing the masculine and feminine energies within me, so I can be a conduit of light that comes in through my body and gets expressed out from the heart center. But I can learn now to be the Ankh, be the toroidal field coming in. Okay. Adjusting my magnetics. But I had to go through teachings. I had to go through experience, external experience that drew out the inner experience. It was both and. So what wisdom gets drawn out within you as you're here in Earth School? As you're having this heart expansion, you're connecting to the will of God, the will of light within yourself, the illumination, the wisdom within you, the wisdom you have access to draw it into your body from the ethers to the mental body, through the emotional body in the physical form. Right? Even just writing it down puts it into the physical form. Right? We have the inspiration. And even look how the energy is moving in this card. That's how the toroidal field comes in some ways. It's moving into this central point. Right? The Taurus, the Taurus, right? It's moving in through this central point like a donut, right? And if you put your body in the middle, all that energy coming through. I don't know if I have an example of one right now. Oh, I think I might. I'm just going to pause. Well, no, I don't need to pause. I think I have an example of that in my sacred geometry deck. And that too, just so you know, the sacred geometry too is changing and evolving. For those of you that study sacred geometry. And it's becoming really cool, actually. When it was cool before. So I have a sacred geometry oracle deck. Toroidal field, right? Looks something like that. Taurus, right? It's moving into the central point. So as you align more and more as you go through this earth school, and you're being mentored and tutored basically how to master your energy. You're mastering light, you're mastering energy, you're mastering the body, because that is energy. You're mastering magnetism. You're learning the activations of creation and manifestation. Oh, I just saw it. Magnetic energy, Taurus. Magnetic energy, the Taurus. So let's read this before we read the message that the deck has for you, because for some reason this may be important for some of you right now, and we'll see how it relates to the deck. Check in a little bit more with Archangel Metatron and Jesus. His galactic name is Sananda. To see how these relate. Okay, so magnetic energy. The torus is a piece of sacred geometry that, when viewed as a three-dimensional, looks like a donut. Okay, it is the primal shape of the universe Okay, that's what it is. The primal shape of the universe. The human heart has 7 muscles that form a torus. Okay, I'm going to pause there for a moment because the human heart is the most magnetic thing about you. It can be measured at great distances. Horses can feel your heartbeat and magnetism about 4 feet away. They're highly somatic, and my guess is they can actually feel it a lot farther away than 4 feet. Okay, so they're either going to repel from you or come to you, right? Or the horse that is the most magnetic in at the time that you meet will be the one you're paired with. Okay, highly somatic creatures. For those of you that ever want to do equine therapy, I highly recommend it because it's really going to show you where you are within yourself and you cannot hide it. Okay, and if you love animals, that might be a great way to draw out your wisdom, right? Harmonize your body, your being, emotional, mental, physical, spiritual, could be a really beautiful way to connect with yourself. Okay. Okay. It is the shape of the Earth's magnetic fields. Okay. So you're having the magnetism of the universe, the magnetism of your heart, the magnetism of the earth. And what do I often say? We're going to connect to the heart of the earth, the heart of your heart. I even include the solar plexus. I come up to the third eye and the heart of the universe. Heart, heart to heart. Magnetism, all aligning. Okay. The smaller figure is a torus vortex that was created as a crop formation in England, 1999. Okay, this figure here. That reminds me of a rosebud. This card connects you to the energy fields of the earth and your heart connection to her. You may be feeling disconnected and alone. You may need a boost of unconditional love to aid in overcoming a difficult situation. Perhaps you simply could use a dose of grounding in the moment. What we begin with was grounding, right? Earth star tetrahedron and earth star chakra. Take an opportunity today to find a place in nature, no matter how small, and reconnect your energy with that of the planet. Use all your senses and really feel this magnetic connection. This is Mother Earth energy. It nurtures you and grounds you in your being, the love and stability you need to help you realize the transience of challenges and magnificent miracles of life. It helps ground and nurtures you in your infancy, because many of us are in our infancies. It just doesn't mean you're a baby, like a physical baby. You may be, some of you may be in your infancy in your journey or the next stage of your journey, right? So when we kind of go through an upgrade, sometimes we go up to another level and we're like, oh, now I got another steps of learning. When we're learning something new, it's still in its infancy, even though you have a lot that you come with, right? It's in the code. You bring it in with you. Okay. So nature connection is highly important. Get your feet on the ground, connect to the magnet. That was one of the very first things I learned years ago when I did a cleanse long before I knew I was on this journey. And one of the practices was to walk in nature barefoot for 30 minutes, connecting to the magnet, walking on healthy grass. That was the exercise. So I encourage you to do that. Go sit on a rock, right? Go sit on a rock. Go somewhere where you're drawn to it. Sit that's lush, that feels lively to you, like healthy, right? Because you don't want to go to a place in nature that is struggling if you're going to ask to be nurtured. So be mindful of that. Tap into your inner shaman, your heart connection. Communicate with nature, with God, the life force within you and the life force within all things, and let it guide you to your sit place, your wander. Go find a sit place. So wander in nature and find a place to sit where your heart guides you, where nature guides you. And of course, make sure you have water. Make sure you have a hat, jacket, whatever you need. Okay. You don't have to go very far. It could even be in your own neighborhood. I used to sit on a neighbor's tree that was in front of their house, not on their property, but it was in front of their house because I loved it. It made a natural chair. And I would sit there and meditate with this tree for a while regularly. The piece of nature will call itself to you to help you ground and whatever else you are going with for assistance for. Okay. Because then you're going to connect with the heart of the earth, the heart of yourself, the heart of the universe. I'm also going to read the reverse aspect of this card because it may be in resonance for some of you right now, but it's also a good reminder. Your energy is scattered and you feel unable to concentrate. Circumstances have knocked you off balance and you are doing your best just to get through each day. Stop and listen to the beat of your heart, reconnecting to the rhythm in the flow of energy through your body. Visualize your heart as your steady ally and advisor. Listen to its wisdom and allow it to stabilize your energy. All of this today is about stabilizing your energy. As you come into the wisdom, stabilizing your energy, integrating the energy, stabilizing it. And you walk the earth school to help you learn to do that. Okay. There's a piece in here where it talks about rhythm. That is one aspect, one of the 7 aspects or activities of creation is rhythm. So those of you, which is everybody, has a drum. No, it may not be a physical frame drum like you see shamans, Native Americans, really in many indigenous cultures, right? I have a few drums that I use. I don't have it out right now. I think I hung it back up, but I was using it the other day. But you also have your body. You can boom, boom. Feel the rhythm of your own beat. You can use a table. You can use your legs. You can create your own rhythms, right? What is the rhythm of your walk today? What's the rhythm of outside your window, right? For me, I hear the rhythm of the street and I know about what time of day it is when I pay attention to that rhythm. Where are you in your own rhythm, right? If you're scattered, and I give this suggestion to clients all the time, one hand over the heart, the other over the solar plexus, or you feel like putting both in either place, and just breathe and pay attention to their breath and connect those 2 points together. Because it does a couple things. It regulates their nervous system. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system. And you're bridging that energy, connecting to the love within you, and build that bridge. Build that bridge with love. Slow your body down, connect to your heart, connect to the heart of the earth and the heart of the universe through love, and build that bridge. Build that connection with your I am presence, because the wisdom will continue to come in. And how might you nurture it, right? There's also this place of like nurturing. You've got to be able to nurture the wisdom, nurture yourself, nurture your heart. Okay. Magnetic energy. the more you're coming into certain things, you're magnetizing, so those things come to you. And and you got to remember the opposite side of a magnet repels, right? So you're both letting go and attracting, repelling and attracting, repelling and attracting. Because some people will have hard time being in your field if you're at a certain frequency. They won't know why. You won't know why necessarily, and they get repelled. Sometimes discord happens or people just stop talking to you. It's okay. Go into your I am presence and recognize, oh, okay, there's been shifts in the energy. And sometimes when things are too out of resonance, they just don't work anymore and it goes. And you might feel the loss of that, and some grief may come up or anger, but just know deep down in your heart as you connect to your I am presence, it's all okay. It's all good. It's all as it should be. And you can talk to each other's I am presence. Okay. You can go there. You can go and be in forgiveness and compassion and expand those muscles, right? You'll be able to transcend the pain of loss and grief. So now to the book number 3. What message does wisdom bring for Earth School? Okay, card number 3, wisdom bringer. What are you bringing in, right? Earth School. Because if you bring in wisdom, I bring in wisdom. We all bring in wisdom of some kind. How might we unify that wisdom together? How may we honor that too? Before we read it, as I was listening to music before I got started, I was listening to Josh Groban. And these lyrics stood out to me right before I hit record. And it's his song Hidden Away, which I always find it really beautiful. He's a beautiful singer, if you don't know him. I want to free your heart. Please don't keep your heart hidden away. So the wisdom comes through as you open your heart too. And just before, as I was reading the Taurus card, Love Will Build a Bridge by the Judds came on. And it does, and it will. You have to let go of what you expect it to be and what it is and becomes. Right? Your love and the love will build bridges, but also allow others to be ready to come across and meet you in the middle. Meet you in the middle of that bridge. Okay? Because that might be hard for some, but you keep your heart open. You don't hide it. It leaves a space open for people to reconcile in some ways, right? Okay, so Wisdom Bringer, Earth School. Much of life is remembering what we already know. We come into this incarnation from pure spirit with eons of lifetimes acquired soul knowledge. The journey back, remembering who we truly are, where we come from, and where we go back to, is the biggest adventure of all. When here, despite the great wisdom we have within us, it often lies buried, waiting for the moment it is needed and can be retrieved. As children, we enter education and learn what is in the curriculum. Yet, what is contained within us is far greater, with more depth and breadth than we can imagine. Our senses, our antennas, they can guide and steer us to learn to trust ourselves regarding what feels right and what feels wrong and what appears to be true, but I sense it is not. What sounds harmonious and what words and energy hurt my ears. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? a human struggling with limited understanding, or a wise old soul who is waiting to be acknowledged. It is said that the eyes are the doorway to the soul, and it is interesting that when newborn, our eyes take a few weeks to mature and for vision to be clear, as if we aren't quite ready for the veil to be totally lifted whence we came and to reveal everything. Stand tall today and see who you really are, a divine soul with lifetimes of experiences where you have been tested and gained valuable firsthand knowledge regarding how to respond, react, and be. There is a whole library you can tap into, help you, a fountain of wisdom within. I guess. Of course, acquiring new knowledge and wisdom never stops. And it may be that what you struggle with now is, in fact, your greatest teacher. The problem at hand is trying to lead you to the solution, and the difficult relationship may be there to teach you, including how not to be or what not to put up with. There are opportunities to learn from every interaction and experience. Ask yourself, what can I take from this? What did I learn today? What is the person trying to show me? Why am I finding this difficult? And I want to adjust that question of contemplation of why am I finding this difficult to what is it within me that I'm finding difficult in this experience? Right? And maybe it'll bring up a past memory, which will lead you to something else, the emotional connection. Where do you feel it in your body? Right? Because oftentimes when we have some difficult moments, it's because it was something that was either already within us or happened in our youth. And then we remember when we reflect and give our time of space to contemplate, it gives yourself space to go inward versus outward toward the other person or people or experience that are part of what's creating the difficulty, so you can draw out wisdom. Okay. What am I finding this? What within me is finding this difficult? And just sit with that. Take that question to nature. Take any of these questions out to nature if you find that resonates with you, any of these promptings within this card. Or if you have your own question that's not within here, go with purpose and intention within the open heart, your I am presence, and take it to nature and allow nature to send you a message of some kind. And you take notice to what appears for you. Maybe you notice the wind. Maybe you notice some birds in the sky. Maybe you noticed some flowers in the meadow. Maybe you came across a lizard or a snake, or the leaves blowing if you're in the fall season or winter season right now. Or the way the sunlight hits something. What does information symbolically representing for you in the question and the difficulty of whatever your struggle is right now? In what way has Earth also helped you illumine and draw out some inner wisdom within you that you gave time to be reflective and contemplate, right? And there's a practice, and it's been adjusted many times, but the principle of it is the same, is that you ask the question 7 times and you go down this ladder. It's almost like a shamanic journey where you go deeper into this space within yourself. What bubbles up? You have to give it space. It doesn't always come in the first, oh, it's this message. It's like, well, what did that mean to you? You go a little deeper. What does that say to you? Bringing it back to your inner guidance, the depth of your heart. What is that drawing out? Well, what is it really? Right? You have to sometimes pull your own thread to see what's really the current driving the behavior. And it draws out wisdom. It can draw out healing. It can, you will be the ability to reconcile things within yourself, the discord within yourself. So then you no longer magnetize that experience to you anymore on a subconscious level. You got to see where I was at. Okay. So it may also be time to undertake some new study from modern day books to ancient texts and philosophical concepts. Indeed, the thirst for wisdom should never leave us. The desire to be challenged via debate, differences of opinion, and the sharing of knowledge is important. Absolutely. To be able to dialogue, right? It's not about forcing someone to agree with you, but when you can dialogue and have expanded, appreciate perspectives, right? You can stay open. The art of truly listening is also vital if we are to absorb and properly apply all that we learn. As such, we need to make proper time for that space to process new ideas and regular clearing out of what is unimportant, including what we hear, e.g., gossip and hearsay. Right? I remember having a not that long ago experience, and I was sharing something with a couple of friends of mine at the park, and we were just the three of us. And then later on, I was hanging out with her and a couple other people, and she thought what I shared was common knowledge. And I said, no, not everyone knows that experience. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was common knowledge. And I said, no, I only shared it with a few. Anything more than that would just be gossip of the other person that was involved versus sharing my experience with some trusted friends. She's like, oh, and she apologized because she realized, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to, like, unintentionally, it was unintentional, right? But there's a fine line between hearsay and gossip. Like, where do we go, right? And it's nothing that bothered me. I don't need to, right? There's a fine line, right? It's like we see it in high school. We see it really in all ages. And it really states someone's evolution, right? And then it can also cause conflict between other people. Because gossip also and hearsay is oftentimes not founded or grounded in truth of what's really happening, right? So sometimes you need to go to the source, or also have the ability to no longer perpetuate the gossip and just kind of go, oh, well, I don't know, that has to be between those people. I don't know anything about it. Or kindly go excuse yourself. You're like, well, I don't feel comfortable with this conversation, and leave, or you just quietly leave, right? You'll know what to do. All right. Because we're talking about mastery here too. You have to be able to change your ways, because there's some people that love gossiping. They feed on it. That is not an energy that is going to support your integration. That's not an energy that's going to support life, raising and vibration frequency. Right? It's a very distracting and destructive energy. And it could put some wheels in motion that you can't stop, and it can cause harm. Right? Has the potential to do that. Look around today at what life really wishes to teach you. There's an opportunity to do so from nature, travel, meeting new people, even if it is a stranger on the bus, as well as going within to listen to our own well of knowledge. Jesus also showed that what we need to learn may come from unexpected places. For example, the beggar having more to share of worth than the rich man, the child comprehending more than the adult, the enemy more to teach than the ally. We are all at Earth School and come to share what we know. which includes how we can learn together as one. That's a beautiful thing, right? And it reminds me, as I'm reading those last few sentences, do not judge a book by its cover. Do not judge a book by its cover. When we think, sometimes we think people are very rich in their life just because they may have more material things, or maybe they make a large sense of income, or it appears so externally. That's not always the case, right? They can be void in other areas of their life. Maybe they sacrificed other areas to their life, right? Maybe some people, they had such a passion and driven in what they wanted to create through their business or whatnot, that they chose to sacrifice having marriage or family or kids or other things because their passion drove them, their purpose drove them, right? I don't want to say they're necessarily void of certain things, but there's a possibility that person may be missing something else that's fulfilling, and they just didn't realize it yet because they didn't leave room for the connection. And there's other people that are perfectly fine that way, and they're just so driven and they know, right? There's other people, right, that I've met a few people where they're so unassuming, right? Don't really care much about their appearance and their outward appearance, but when you stop to listen to the words coming out of their mouth, so rich in what they share, so rich in what they share. So it's an opportunity for you to recognize your own times when you're uncomfortable around someone that doesn't perhaps dress like you or look like you, or you know, and just breathe a bit and bring in that love energy. Call into your higher self and guides and be like, assist me in just being present and being more love in this space. Let go of the internal dialogue and judgments of another, because you're also judging yourself in that, right? So come back to what wisdom is being brought forth for you in this interaction within yourself. Perhaps it's having you work more deeply with another aspect of you. Say more compassion, forgiveness, patience, whatever it is, you fill in the blank, right? Boundaries, maybe. I don't know. I'm not you. So just pay attention to those things at this time, and also be excited. You're here to also enjoy life, enjoy Earth, enjoy these experiences, and enjoy the oneness that we are all a part of, right? Because at that end, it was like we're learning all as one, right? We're learning all as one. You learn with the ally and the enemies, and then there's really, truly no enemies at all. Everything is an ally to you to grow, to come into your individualization of the God light within you and integrate, and at the same time recognizing the oneness of all things and hold it with the most love available, and basically becoming so neutral that there's no longer polarity within you. You're everything within you is the golden seed of light of God lit up. That's it. That's it. Just that little thing, right? So anyhow, be gentle with yourself, show yourself compassion and nurturing. How might you nurture and foster exactly where you're at right now, and recognize Earth, these experiences help draw out and illumine your natural gifts that are already within you. You're already coded in the DNA that's being activated within you as you connect to the light of God within you, and that's within the whole of life and creation. I'm Gina Libido, Soul Inspired Reflections. Be sure to like and share this video. And you never know who else may be supportive by some of what has come out today. And so let's not limit that by not comment, by just passing it by. Let's go ahead and hit like and see who gets to maybe benefit from some of the Christ consciousness, self-mastery portion message, as well as what's come through me tonight. And maybe it'll invoke something within you, right? You don't have to believe anything I say. You don't have to agree with it. If it inspires you and ignites something within you to think and see something slightly differently than you did before, then beautiful, because you're here to step into your mastery, your trust, your inner knowing of the light of God that's within you, integrating your Christ consciousness energies so you can may walk this life in a completely different way than you did before. And to recognize if those terms don't resonate with you, that's fine. Make up your own terms for the same thing. Make up your own terms. If energy is just energy for you, stick with that. It doesn't change the process that we all are going through. You just have a different vernacular. Much love to you. Like and share this video until I see you for day 46.